that's a problem. The way to get what I said, that's okay. No.
Y'all games y'all playing, y'all full of
Yeah, there's no surprise. Another crazy township meeting where the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, came in hot, clearly fed up with the trustees, especially Chris Gonzalez and Trustee Carlisle. This intense face-off shows exactly how Tiffany Henyard is losing power. There we got Keith Price cursing people out, being as aggressive as he usually is.
I'm not going to keep pushing the narrative, bro. And I always be respectful.
Well, since I have you here, what's the process for ordinances? You don't know the process?
But this is the question I have here. When it comes down to the trustees, when it comes down to the supervisor and her partners, when a resident is sitting back looking, are they working for the township's best interests or just caught up in political games? Let's get into it. So I want to talk about some of the key moments of this meeting, which was very weird because the public comments came at the end of the meeting instead of the beginning. So we'll talk about some of those comments. I think it was just one person, but we'll talk about the most important parts of the meeting. First thing, where is Keith Freeman? It looks like Keith Freeman is gone. So according to my source that works for the township, Keith Freeman has been fired. Now, there hasn't been any public notice. No one really talked about it in the meeting, as far as I know. If you guys noticed something, put in the comments below. But it seems that Keith Freeman has been fired from the township, but he still works as a contractor for the village. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes with Keith Freeman. And when those things become public, you guys will see it as well. But now you have to deal with Keith Price. It looks like Keith Price has been promoted, and he's going to be just as aggressive, even more so, than the super mayor.
And that's all I'm trying to get everybody to see. It's unreasonable.
There were no demands made. Anybody could have.
Okay, Trustee, you said you didn't go back
before
you done. You said
anybody could have.
Okay,
When did we receive the list of bills? When do we receive the list of
We
bills?
received them on Sunday.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there you go.
You got them Sunday.
On Sunday.
When is the meeting? Tuesday?
Okay.
How many days is that before?
What does the law say? What's the difference?
What does the law say, Trustee?
She said you emailed on Saturday, but that's a problem. The way to get what I said, that's okay. No.
Y'all games y'all playing, y'all full of shit.
Exactly.
You full of shit.
All right, so
That's what you are.
All right, so we're going to end discussion.
And let's break down the perspectives of the trustees that are fighting back, dissenting on the supervisor, and the supervisor and I guess her new bodyguard, Keith Price, their perspective on things. So the trustees' perspective, led by Trustee Gonzalez and Trustee Carlisle, they're pushing for more greater transparency and accountability. They want ordinances in place to ensure responsible spending and protected employees. Their insistence on receiving all communication via email to maintain a clear, verifiable record is a reasonable demand for transparency.
At one point in time, yes, I did take text messages and different things from Keith Price, but things have changed. And I have said on many occasions, via text, via email, that the way I would like the administration to communicate with me is via email. When you email a person, there's accountability. Yes, I have scheduled meetings with different department heads, with the finance director, but there is no account that you can keep in having conversation with people. I like the conversation regarding township business to be sent via email.
Unfortunately for Henyard, she's not a big fan of transparency, as we all know.
You know exactly how it works, and they're doing exactly the same thing that you did when you was in administration. Now you are a trustee, so you should be 100 with the people on why you're doing all this chaotic stuff. I'm gonna have department heads speak to your lies that you're telling the public and the media while they're out here saying that we are not being transparent. What more do you want us to do? Real soon, you are becoming, what's the word I want to use? You harassing the staff. The staff don't feel comfortable with you constantly calling them, asking them for things. Your job is to contact Keith Price and get your information like we would do in any body of government.
And the problem is, the reason why Trustee Gonzalez and Trustee Carlisle was saying no to some of these bills is because earlier on in the week, they proposed several ordinances aimed at creating more structure and transparency in spending, and they were not included on the agenda.
Oh, it was early in the week. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly what they, Trustee Carlisle sent it out. We sent some, if I remember correctly, it was about 5 ordinances. Majority had to do with fiscal responsibility. trying to create a little more structure and a little more transparency. The other ones were to give some protection to the employees. It was in plenty of time to be put on the agenda. Obviously, you saw it was not on the agenda.
So the back and forth in that situation was, okay, they were able to get the other stuff within 48 hours, but they're upset why these other things were not included on the agenda, which shows that Tiffany Henyard and her administration are just playing slick. They're trying to do what Gonzalez called a shell game. You're adding some things, you're pulling some things back, and it looks like definitely what Henyard and Price are playing politics. They're saying you guys don't care about the people, you don't want to pay the bills.
Why y'all sitting here saying no to paying staff, cameras, news, fake news? Make sure y'all get this. They sitting here voting not to pay people that have done a job that sometimes work check to check. They need their money, and they're playing politics. Stop. Now you know what we should do? We shouldn't pay y'all money, because y'all included in there.
For
So
real.
y'all should get y'all check.
Yes.
You should hold your check. You should hold y'all check.
Yes.
When Gonzalez is saying, I am trying to implement laws to protect and safeguard and keep things transparent and responsible, and you did not include that in the agenda, you're trying to be slick. So this is a back and forth of who's slick, who isn't, who's trying to take advantage of the people, and who are trying to fight for the people, fighting for these employees and making sure that the vendors, everyone gets paid. Keith Price and the super mayor frustrated with the trustees' refusal. These talking about that these situations, these actions that Gonzalez and Carlisle can be seen as obstructive, causing unnecessary delay and complications.
I'm just tired of the games.
You need to learn, because I haven't been here 6 years.
Whatever years you've been, you don't know.
Well, you should learn that. Then you should learn before you talk.
You don't know the rules.
learn
Let's
before you
stick to
talk,
the fact
baby.
that you don't know
Well,
the rules to the seats you sit in.
I know the rules.
Well, you would call the clerk and you would set up a meeting.
Well, once again,
At
like you
60
just said
IL,
in
that's
the
it.
past, that hasn't had to be the case. But now,
Because you said yes to everything.
Now everything's
But
got to be a
I'm
shell
sorry,
game. Now
I'm
everything's
sorry,
got to be the shell game.
I'm just tired.
Keith Price accusations of the trustees playing political games just brings more of the chaotic situation that we all see in every township meeting.
It amazes me that now everybody got so much to say when we're actually doing better than what y'all was doing before I got here. So I know people got to create chaos, turmoil, confusion, division. I get it. It's political season. I get it. But it shouldn't have to be at the expense of the taxpayers. And that's what you guys are doing. You guys are creating this division that was not here at the township.
It's very similar. It's now has become full-on Dalton type stuff where the vendor's not getting paid, some people are not getting paid, and everyone's blaming whose fault is it. And as most people, at least in my perspective, the people on the top are the first ones to take the blame. They should get the blame because they are the leaders of the situation. When it's so aggressive and counterproductive and chaotic, you only have to blame who is allowing this to happen. When Keith Price cursed at Gonzalez, Tiffany Henyard didn't stop them. She didn't correct Keith Price as saying, hey, disrespecting one of the trustees, chill out. All she really said was, are you guys done? Now, I'm wondering if someone was cursing out one of her trustees that she values and 100% loyal to, would she would stop and tell them, do not curse at my trustee? Probably so. But she doesn't like Gonzalez, so she'll let him be disrespected. And my goodness, with Robin Hunt, he has to find another job. I guess this job pays him enough to get punked around by Super Mayor all the time.
I didn't think so.
Oh, it goes to me.
No, don't worry about it. I'm going to address him in a minute. We're going to address him. But stop. You just chill out. We doing something right now. Robert Hunt, tell me what trustees, Carmen right here, have been sending you emails, how many meetings she has counseled with staff that we have put in place, and she don't show up. Tell them the games that she is playing with Thornton Township. Her job is to come here and do her job, which is to make sure that they do the will of the people. You guys work for the people. And when y'all do the work, they should pay you. They should pay politics like they're doing. Please tell them, explain.
Definitely want to, I don't want to say, I guess we want to make sure there's better communication. Parties set how we want to move going forward.
All right, Robert, you can sit down. Go ahead, Kate.
It's really embarrassing at this point. Frustration only grew as the meeting went on. He accused the trustees of deliberately causing chaos and playing political games to make this administration look bad. But when it comes back and forth, I think the side that is aiming for more transparency, because when you look at it, they're not just saying no to be difficult. They want these laws passed so they can create more structure and transparency in how the township's money is being spent. These things are supposed to ensure proper oversight and protect employees. But the problem is they weren't on the meeting agenda, even though these items were posted long before the other things were posted. So how are the bills and those things that Keith Price was yelling about, but why the other things were not included? Because they don't want them to be included. The other trustees were adamant about needing all communication to be done via email because emails create a paper trail. They provide a record that can be checked and rechecked, which verbal or printed communications don't. This demand is just a clear call for more transparency because at this point, there's no trust with the administration and the trustees. There isn't any. This meeting was about, there's the breakdown of communication trust between the trustees and the supervisors. Henyard's assertion that the administration have provided all necessary documents and have gone above and beyond to meet the trustees' request was met with skepticism. Gonzalez pointed out that despite receiving some documents, there were still numerous requests that have gone unanswered. This disconnect just shows the deeper issues on how this information is shared and managed within the township. And the sad thing about this is a lot of this should be already done by the time they get to the meeting. It's as if these people are not even communicating with each other until the meeting shows up, and now they're yelling about who did what, who didn't send one piece of paper or one piece of information, and then the residents are sitting back and thinking, is anything getting done? Is anything getting done at all? Unfortunate thing about this is the fact that these employees are not getting paid, and they're turning their aggression on Gonzalez. But the problem is, if Henyard put those ordinances on the agenda and got those things approved, then these employees would get paid. But Henyard and Price are using this narrative to turn the township against the trustees that are looking for more transparency, to attack those trustees as they're the only obstacle from getting paid. If these two would just do whatever the Henyard wants them to do, they will get the money that they earned. And that's plain politics. That's politics 101, blaming things, drawing connections when there's more context, there's more to understand of why this is the situation that everyone is in. But that's the narrative that Henyard and Keith Price and her administration are going to put. Before we leave, let's check out the one public comment.
My comment is strictly for you, Carmen. I'm confused as to how you figure or feel like you're trustworthy. You rode on a coattail of Henyard for a while. She put you in that seat, but yet you sit here and you want to act like you're so righteous now. Like, what makes you feel like anybody can trust you when you were her? You were with her. So if she not to be trusted, why the hell should we trust you? It's like, in street terms, it's like you flip flop like a reneging gang member. Like you're GD, now I'm vice lord. I'm with this person. Like you don't know what how you want to do it.
So now we are equating running a government to a gang. If you know Henyard's history, she does hang out with some gang members, allegedly. You see, loyalty should be for the people you serve, not necessarily your colleagues or the people that may have put you on to the seat that you're currently in. And if Trustee Carmen is finally realizing some of the things that are not running well, people are allowed to change their minds. They're allowed to hold others accountable. So you may be upset at the fact that she may be going against the supervisor, but at the same time, it's not about loyalty to Henyard, it's loyalty to the taxpayers. She was elected by the people. She needs to serve the people. And if she thinks that there's some issues with how things are going in the township, she has the right to speak about it. You may have some issues with the flip-flopping, which that's a common thing for politicians. You may not want to trust a politician if they said one thing in the past and now they changed their mind. But I think as human beings, we're allowed to change our minds. We collect new information and may come up with a new idea, a new belief. So what that lady was saying didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But what do you guys think? We're going to see what exactly what's going to happen over the next couple of months. I'm really interested in knowing exactly how or why Keith Freeman was fired. And the fact that she hired Keith Price, he is extremely aggressive and he seems like he cannot control himself. But that just seems the kind of people that Henyard likes to hang out with. So that's not really much of a surprise there. But what do you guys think about this meeting? And shout out to the Lansing Journal for providing the footage. Really appreciate it. I'll put their link in the description box below. They cover Township. They cover the whole thing. they dive deep into the Henyard saga and the Township stuff. So you guys should definitely check out their channel and check out some of the stuff they're doing. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I see you guys in the next video.
Talk about it. All right, Robert, you can sit down. Go ahead, Kate.